All right, I got my friend Eric Pulaski, CEO of Smartvault in Texas, going to answer a couple questions about security. Thanks for hanging out with us, Eric.
You're welcome, Jason.
Good
Thanks for
deal.
having.
Yeah, man. Since not people won't watch a very long video, let me dive right in. I just want to ask you three different questions about security. The first one is, if we take a 30,000 foot view of security for all businesses, what's the big deal with security in the cloud specifically? And can you just give a rough reason why it's important?
Sure, yeah. If all you're using the cloud for is your music and videos and pictures, maybe you don't really care about security too much. But if you're putting any data in the cloud, a lot of us are putting data in the cloud that may be confidential. There's no presumption of privacy on the internet. So, sort of the saying goes, don't put anything on the internet or don't send anything as an attachment out in email that you wouldn't want to see on the front page of the New York Times tomorrow. So there's no presumption of privacy over the internet. So when you're putting data in the cloud, it's important to pick a solution to do that that offers you the security that you need.
Well, two examples are, I think a lot of people, or some people, presume security. For example, I assume my bank online is secure, and I assume my email is secure. Are both of those statements true?
Your bank is probably secure. Banks are in a regulated industry, and if you're storing data with bank, they have got, legal requirements that could get them in a lot of hot water if they didn't take due care and make sure your data is secure. So most banks, take a lot of steps for security, and they've got security people working around the clock to do that. Email is a completely different matter. Email, there is really no security built into email when you send it over the internet. Now, if you're, let's say, on an exchange server, going from one exchange server within that exchange server, sending email within your company, that's probably secure.
I see.
But if you're sending email out over the internet, that is just going clear text-free over the internet. It's probably bouncing around to multiple mail servers all over the internet. There's no real security requirement. All those emails, as a matter of fact, are probably stored completely in the clear. Administrators of those email servers could actually delete those emails, modify them,
Wow.
and send them on without you even knowing. So internet email is, in a nutshell, not secure, especially if you're going from within one system to another, like from your exchange, sending someone else a Gmail message, for example, and you're not just within your corporate email system.
Well, so then that brings me to another question. Okay, so if financially sensitive documents like the ones CPAs would have, our firm uses SmartVault, and if I'm running an accounting firm and I know I need to start storing my documents in the cloud for, efficiency purposes and giving portals to my clients so they can upload documents and things like that, how do I choose a provider? What do I look for from that provider to know that they're secure? I mean, do I care about personal, commercial, enterprise usage? I mean, Google Drive, Dropbox, SmartVault. What the heck is the difference between all this?
There are a lot of solutions out there. I would first focus on who are the people at the company and what do they do about security. Just because you know how to do IT doesn't necessarily mean you know how to do secure IT. So I think it's important to work with a company where their mission is all about security and they've got the right people and staff behind that. So I would find out more about the company, how many customers they have, talk to the people at the company, look on their website, see if they publish their security policies and tell you what you do about security. You may actually hire an outside security consultant to call and interview the firm and to see what they're doing exactly. Like at SmartVault, for example, where security is in my DNA. My last software company was an internet security software company
Cool.
that I took public and sold to Symantec. So my guys here, security's in our DNA. We have for example, getting outside consultants to come in and look at your design and test your security. So those are all really very important things. And if you don't feel like you're a security expert, you might want to get an IT consultant or a security person to help you with that effort in interviewing and finding firms. But I would look for a product or a solution or service that really is all about security, where that's part of their mission.
Cool, that's good. So, and then the last question, this will kind of bring it even tighter to home. GoDaddy had an issue a couple weeks ago where we don't know what it was, but if GoDaddy was hosting something or whatever, we couldn't access some some servers, so some people couldn't access Smartvault. And so, can you tell us what really happened on that deal?
Sure, I'll be happy to tell you what really happened. First of all, it's important to know that Smartvault was never down. We actually, our servers, our data center experienced a zero downtime. Customers' data was totally safe. A lot of our customers were using Smartvault just fine. The problem was GoDaddy had an outage in their what's called DNS servers. Those are domain name servers. And DNS, for those of y'all that don't kind of know what kind of is going on with DNS, but DNS is basically the yellow pages of the internet. When you type in your web browser my.smartvault.com or www.google.com, for example, that name needs to get resolved to what's called an IP address. It's kind of like just like with the yellow pages, you have to look somebody's phone number up with their name. So the DNS service is basically the yellow pages of the internet, and GoDaddy hosts DNS for 50 million websites.
Wow!
So they initially they thought that this may be a security problem. There was sort of someone had made a comment that maybe the anonymous guys had hacked their servers, but I think what happened is it may have just been human error. But a chunk of their DNS servers went down, and it brought down the yellow pages, if you will, of the internet down for 50 million websites, in one geographic region in the United States. So it was a big outage. GoDaddy had a perfect record since then. We've been using GoDaddy for this DNS for 5 years now, and we've had 100% uptime, zero downtime. So, this was a pretty big outage for them. It wasn't really a security issue. Nobody's data was compromised, but it was an availability problem where people couldn't get to their data.
I see. So really, when I type in smartvault.com and it didn't pull up during that time, it had nothing to do with your stuff. It was that GoDaddy, who was hosting just that name, couldn't route it to your IP address correctly.
Yeah. GoDaddy, when your computer said, "Hey, Smartvault.com, give me that IP address," nothing came back. So couldn't figure out how to get to us. Actually, if you would have called us on the phone, we could have given you our IP address, and you can actually modify something called a host file in your computer, where you can basically type in the manual phone number, if you will, and get right to Smartvault. So you would, the service was actually up and running. People could have gotten to their data. It's just that this name service was down, and so people couldn't find us. And
Okay. Well, Eric, thank you so much for a rundown of security. Hopefully this will help people. I was kind of curious too, but we've always enjoyed Smartvault. So thanks for doing such a good job and running the company, and for being so tight about security.
Hey, you're welcome, Jason. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, take care.